morning, everybody. I hope you had a great Easter. Hope you're enjoying this Monday. It's a little rainy and yucky out, but it is what it is. So I didn't get any takers for our little friends to read, so I am going to read today. I'm Gina Maria Alamberti. I'm the business manager at the Connecticut Trolley Museum. So today we're going to read Molly the Trolley and Bud. Squeak, squeak, scrape, scrape, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. Molly, the bright, shiny red and yellow trolley, rolled out of the trolley car barn just outside the small town of Reading, Pennsylvania. Her heart thumped loudly with happiness. Her eyes twinkled with joy. Molly felt as proud as a 6-year-old who had just lost her first tooth. Molly loved her job. Oh my gosh. Silvio, down. Silvio. Sorry, Silvio. Really? Oh my God. Ding, ding, ding-a-ling, I'm coming, she called cheerfully to the people who waited at the trolley stop for her. All day, Molly happily jiggled and swayed back and forth along her 10-mile country route. Early each morning, she took the people to work and the children to school. All afternoon, she carried the ladies to the shops in town. In the evening, she brought them safely back to the trolley stops. As she rolled along the tracks, clickety-click, clickety-clack, Molly thought about how lucky she was. As the youngest trolley in the trolley barn, she had up and down windows, a comfortable cane seats. Her sister trolleys weren't equipped with windows. Their metal seats were cold in the winter and hot in the summer and very uncomfortable. Molly had one big headlight right in the middle of the front of her car and one right in the middle of the back of her car. She needed both headlights because at the end of her 10-mile route, Mike, her motorman, would switch on the electric pole connection that made Molly run. Now, the back of the trolley became the front. Next, Mike flipped the seats so that people faced the front of the trolley on the trip back in town. Squeak, squeak, scrape, scrape, clickety-click, clickety-clack. Molly and Mike took good care of their passengers. Tickets, please. Careful, watch your step, Mike called at each stop. Molly knew a lot of people depended on her. She did her best to be on time. She felt important, needed, and loved, and she was. Lately, however, Molly began to worry and have scary thoughts that made her tremble. One evening when she returned to the trolley barn, Molly learned that 2 of her sister trolleys had been sent to the scrapyard because they were old and worn out. At the scrapyard, they would rust and be forgotten. Molly missed them. At night, just before she fell asleep, she felt sad and afraid when she thought about them. Who would be sent to the scrapyard too someday? Would Mike lose his job? Molly's sad. On the weekends, Molly fell asleep with happy thoughts. She loved her job every day, but just like Saturdays were the best. Every Saturday, she'd watch for her favorite passengers, a little boy named Bud and his dad. Molly loved Bud, and he loved her. Molly knew Bud would be sitting on his dad's shoulders, watching for her as they crossed the fields. Ding, ding, ding-a-ling, I'm coming, she called. Bud always raced across the field and jumped aboard Molly to sit in the best seat, right behind Mike. Bud's dad would get off the trolley at the farmer's market. Since his dad and Mike, the motorman, were friends, Bud was allowed to stay on Molly and ride her all the way into town, and then all the way back to end her route. Bud knew he could not get off the trolley until she returned to the final stop, the trolley car barn. Molly and Bud loved the time together. They jiggled, they swayed past the barbershop, the ice cream parlor, the hot dog palace, and the movie theater. Molly's cherry ding-a-ding, ding-a-ling greeted the people. Have a nice day, Bud would call as he waved to the shoppers. The shoppers always smiled and waved back. When they bounced past the firehouse, even Spot, the Dalmatian dog, barked and wagged his tail. Ding-a-ding-ding, I'm coming. Stay away from the tracks, Molly would warn as she got to the creek. Molly's route ended by a small pond. Often, Bud watched the kids that were fishing, looking for frogs, toads, or swimming and splashing each other in fun. Molly knew he would like to join them, but Bud kept his word to his dad and never got off the trolley. Instead, he helped Mike clean the seats and sweep the floor. He needed to keep Molly in good shape. Mike often told Bud, "We don't want her to be sent to the scrapyard." "I'll never let them send you to the scrapyard," Bud would promise Molly. On the way back to town, Mike always let Bud wear his cap and pretend that he was driving Molly back to the car barn. Bud liked to imagine he and Molly were going to faraway places, and he would tell her what they might see and do together. "Today we'll make believe we are going to the big city like New York." Bud would tell Molly, "We'll see lots of people, the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty." Every Saturday they'd pretend to go to a different place. Back at the car barn, Mike and Bud washed Molly's windows until they sparkled, and it was time to go home. Molly and Bud had this special time together for several years. Bud grew older, so did Molly. After a while, Bud came to meet Molly on a Saturday by himself. Sometimes he met his friends at the hot dog palace and spent time with them, but he always came back to the car barn to help Molly get in good shape. Molly knew Bud loved her. But then on a Saturday, Bud jumped on the trolley without his usual broad smile. He sat quietly on the trip to town. Molly knew something terrible was wrong. What could it be? Back at the car barn, Bud told Molly and Mike the awful news. He was moving away. "Don't worry, Molly. I won't let them send you to the scrapyard. I'll be back someday," he promised her. Molly, Bud, and Mike said goodbye. Molly cried. She thought her heart would shatter into a million pieces. She knew that Bud would keep his promise someday. But would it be in time? Several years passed. Molly began to show her age. Her paint began to chip and fade. Some of her windows lost the shine. Others had cracked. The seats were stained and worn. Molly's bell no longer rang, a cheery ding, ding, ding-a-ling. Now it was tired. Ding, 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 ding. Molly heard the people complain. "Can't this thing go faster? The seats are so uncomfortable. The windows won't go up. The windows won't go down. She's always late. There are too many people." The trolley car company heard the complaints too. Before long, Molly had to share the car barn with several buses. Soon, her schedule was reduced to only 2 trips a day. Most of the people were now riding the smelly, noisy buses instead of taking Molly to work, school, or to shop in town. Molly was very lonely and very sad. Every night she would cry herself to sleep. She no longer felt important or needed. Maybe he had moved too far away. Molly also knew that before long, the trolley car company would tell poor old Mike they did not need him as a motorman. Then she'd be sent to the scrapyard where all of her sister trolleys had already gone. Molly shivered with fear that she would too be left to rust and be forgotten. She'd just about given up when one afternoon a tall, handsome man came into the car barn. The man looked familiar. Could it be? Molly held her breath. She closed her eyes, afraid to look. Was it? So slowly she opened her eyes. Yes, it was Bud. Molly thought her heart would explode with joy. She felt Bud had come back. Bud and Mike, the motorman, talked for a long time. Molly listened. She was not going to be sent to the scrapyard. Mike did not have to retire. "We will make Molly look like new," Bud told Mike, and together they did. Squeak, squeak, scrape, scrape, clickety-click, clickety-clack. One fine Saturday morning, Molly, the bright, shiny red and yellow trolley, proudly rolled out of the car barn. Ding-a-ding, ding-a-ling. Molly's heart thumped loudly with happiness and her eyes twinkled with joy. Mike and Bud rode Molly to the end of her route. Molly was surprised to see the tracks did not stop at the end of the route. Instead, they continued in a circle all around outside of the wonderful, exciting amusement park. Molly, the bright, shiny red and yellow trolley, had a new job now. Squeak, squeak, scrape, scrape, clickety-click, clickety-clack. Molly jiggled and swayed as she and Mike took the children back and forth around the track. Ding, ding, ding-a-ling, I'm coming, she called. Molly loved her new job. She felt important and needed, and she was. Every Saturday morning, Bud the motorman. That's because Molly loved Bud and Bud loved Molly, and the promises are made to keep. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed our stories today, Molly, the Trolley, and Bud. Thank you for listening. We're going to try to keep doing this every Monday at 11 o'clock. Again, I'm looking for other people to read stories. Was hoping we could have some of our smaller friends read the story. If you want to, let us know. Message us. I know, we definitely will not be opening in May. We don't know the exact date, but we look forward to opening. We miss everybody. I am going to be posting a visitor survey that we would love our friends to fill out. It really helps us to know our visitors and to know what we can be improving on, what we do that works good. So it's really important if you could take it. It's only about 5 to 10 minutes, not many questions. I will be posting the survey right after this on our newsfeed. Again, thank you for joining us. We miss you. We hope we can open soon. If you have any questions, you can email us, message us. Again, thank you.